I'm back with another video, and today we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the history of Clash of Clans over the past 5 years. It's crazy to think that Clash of Clans is already halfway toward a full decade. This game has been the heart of the community since the start, and to refresh your mind, let's go down the full timeline. Now, to keep this video shorter than 1 hour, we're gonna be skimming through every single update, but only mentioning the key features that make up the game we know today. So with that being said, let's get right into it. On August 2, 2012, Clash of Clans was first released on iOS globally since there was no need for a soft launch at the time. The game was so much more different. Obviously, we had a waterfall, the max town hall was 8, and the graphics were, well, they weren't that bad, but yeah. August 30, 2012, Supercell pushed out the first ever update which introduced a new building, the Tesla, new decorations, and graphic improvements to make the game look a whole lot better. September 18, spells were finally added to the game which would change Clash of Clans forever. The 3 new spells were Lightning, Heal, and Rage Spell. Along with spells, replays were added to battles, a new building was added, the Wizard Tower, and the time to build walls was finally removed. Yup, before this update, you had to wait for walls to build. The update on October 15 was not so interesting but added a ton of small improvements like the kick message and clan trophy requirements. About 2 weeks later, on October 27, the first seasonal update came out which gave the game a much more Halloween appearance. But that wasn't the only thing added on that update. With a new Town Hall, Town Hall 9, a new building, the Expo, was introduced, which up to this day is one of the most important defenses. A jump spell was also added which gave troops the ability to jump over walls. But unfortunately, on this same update, the option to sell buildings was removed due to players accidentally selling buildings that they actually needed. The ability to sell buildings was cool and I wish we still had it, but yeah, it didn't last long. November 19 was the first winter update. Aside from snow, trees, and the Santa spell, the most important part of the update was Clan Castle troops were now able to jump walls. It may not seem like a big deal, but nowadays, we would literally die if Clan Castle troops just stayed in one small square. Also, the ability to boost buildings such as the Spell Factory and Collectors was added for the first time ever. The first update of 2013 on January 10, this was the biggest update to this day. The Barbarian King and Queen was added, which at the time was huge and very weird. Like, just imagine getting a new variety in Clash Royale. This is how it was in Clash of Clans. But how can we have heroes if there was no Dark Elixir? Well, that same update, Dark Elixir was added, as well as a storage and a drill for it. The 5th of February, we saw 2 new traps, the Air Bomb and the Seeking Air Mine, get added. Of course, there was many other small changes and improvements, but we're talking about a 5-year-old game here, so let's move on. March 12, 2013, Dark Elixir troops were added, like the Minion, Hog Rider, Valkyrie, and of course, the actual barracks to train those troops. Not only this was a very important update, but these new troops would change the game once again forever. About a month later, on April 17, leagues were added to separate players from being in one massive league, which was pretty much none. The Golem was also added in this update, which ended up making players create the well-known strategy called Go Wipe. Go Wipe is pretty much Golem, P.E.K.K.A, and Wizard. Moving on, May 23rd, Town Hall 10 was introduced. Because Town Hall 10 was new, we got to see new defenses added like the Inferno Tower. Yeah, this update was huge. There was also a lot of balance changes and tweaks done, and I know a lot of you won't care, but this was also the month that I began playing Clash of Clans. The 17th of June, a new spell was added called the Freeze. The update wasn't as huge, but that's because it was much more of a balanced update. New levels, clan improvements, troop changes, you name it. Just about a week after that as well, one of the smallest updates ever on June 24, an extra mine and pomp was added to Town Hall 10. July 28, 2013, the Witch was introduced as a new Dark Elixir troop. We also got a chance to now share replays to the client chat and the ability to mute players in global. August 9, the 1 gem boost for collectors was removed since the 1-year anniversary special was like a week before that. Essentially, this was just like a mini update to remove something. The 27th of that same month, the player profile got a rework. New levels for troops and spells, and most importantly, graphic changes that will make the game look much better. September 30, 2013 was a very important part of the history of Clash of Clans. Village Edit mode was added, meaning now you didn't have to move everything around to simply make a new base. So making bases was really easy for both players and YouTubers that wanted to do so. October 10, there was a minor update, but it was a special one. This was the first update ever to be, well, optional. Like, you didn't really have to update the app at all. So yeah, that was the first of its kind. November 6, we could now upgrade traps. Previously, traps were just traps. No level 1 or 2 or any of that. A button was also added to rearm all of them at the same time for those of you who are lazy. Yeah, I know, we're all lazy. But besides any of that, spells were updated to cost elixir instead of gold, which nowadays it makes complete sense. Like, just imagine in 2017 paying gold for spells. No thanks. December 5, the last update of 2013, brought back the snow and other cool things. A multi-target ability was added to the Inferno Towers, so it could now target a few troops at the same time, and also level 3 was added to that as well. January 29, 2014, heroes were given abilities. Prior to this update, heroes would just hit stuff and die. This was the update that made heroes much more hero-like, if that makes any sense. Co-leaders were also added to clans, but elders were nerfed to give co-leaders more power. On April 9th, this was the day that made Clash of Clans actually mean Clash of Clans. Clan Wars were introduced, which was the update that revived Clash of Clans to its fullest potential. This was a massive update, and to this day, I thank Supercell for adding this. May 16, they added the ability to save war bases and also edit them. Along with other Clan War improvements and fixes, they also made Village Edit mode available for Town Hall 3. Because before this update, Town Hall 3 was left in the dark. On July 3, this was a huge balance update. Stats changes, graphic improvements, hero AI rework, and finally, live battle spectating was added to Clan Wars to watch players as they attack. Now from here and on, there hadn't been an update for such a long time. Everyone was wondering, where's Supercell? Like, what just happened here? This was simply because Supercell usually has workers off during July and August. So finally, on the 16th of September, a new card was introduced, the Lava Hound. And on the plus side, you can now upgrade walls with Elixir. October 22, the second Halloween update, we got to see a new trap called the Skeleton Trap. This didn't drastically change the game, but it did open a lot of opportunities for the base building community. The next month, the 11th of December, the last update for 2014, multiple layouts were added to Village Edit mode. The ability to also watch live replays of your base while being attacked was also added. Before this update, you could not watch what was going on until the battle was over. Unfortunately, this same update also made upgrading walls a bit harder. The minimum wall level required to upgrade with Elixir was now level 9. 2015 came along, and on February 24, clans now had levels. This made clans able to level up and earn perks that all clan members can benefit from. April 30, a new defense was added, the Air Sweeper. But even though a new defense was added, this update was much more about balancing and improving. And for the first time, a new name change was also available in the settings to finally change the name of your base. July 1st, 2015, the Dark Spell Factory was added. This meant dark spells were also somewhere in that update. We got to finally use the Poison Spell, Earthquake, and Haste Spell. And finally, more leagues were added, Titan and Legend League. Moving on to September 9, the main part of this update was a War Tiebreaker and 25 new walls for Town Hall 10. The War Tiebreaker was essentially a much better way to calculate who really won the war. October 22, this update was mainly just for Halloween. You know, the usual decorations, gem boosts, and you know, all that stuff. But the next one on December 10 was huge, and this update changed the game in many ways forever. Whether if you consider it bad changes or good changes, this update flipped Clash of Clans into a new era. Firstly, Town Hall 11 was finally here. With Town Hall 11, we got to see the new Eagle Artillery, Grand Warden, and extra defenses. This was also the update that made shield a big part of the game. Instead of leaving your town hall outside for a free cheap shield, after this update, guarding your town hall was a very important part. They also added 30 seconds to the battle just in case you needed one more second for that 3-star. 2016 was finally here and the loot cart was added, treasury in the clan castle, and star bonuses. And also, since the Eagle Artillery didn't seem to do well against very heavy attacks, the Eagle Artillery was given the ability to deal 3 times more damage to golems and golemites. March 21st gave us a new Dark Elixir troop, the Bowler. There was also a ton of war changes, new troop levels, and a lot of new defense levels. On May 24, the ability to battle your friends was added as a friendly challenge. We also got to see 2 new troops, the Miner and the Baby Dragon, which had been both in Clash Royale. We also got the Clone spell, the Skeleton spell, and a ton of design rework, so the game was looking pretty 2016-y. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, you should know what I mean. Moving on to October 12th, we got a new defense from Clash Royale added over to Clash of Clans, the Bomb Tower. Town Hall 11 got 25 more walls, and Friendly Wars were also added as an option. And finally, we are already at the end of 2016, but the 19th of December, we got the Christmas update, which introduced a new temporary troop, the Ice Wizard. At this point, it was very clear that Clash Royale and Clash of Clans were going to be sharing a lot of things between each, permanently and for special events. Alongside the temporary Ice Wizard, we also got to see a freeze trap and Santa surprise. The first update of 2017, on the 16th of January, we got a few new levels for defenses. But most importantly, it was just a massive balance update. On May 22nd, 2017, we got the biggest update in such a long time. The Builder's Base was introduced with new defenses and a lot of cool stuff for the main village as well, like the multi-mortar and archer towers, fast or long range toggle. If you play Clash of Clans, then you should know what I mean, because that kind of sounds confusing. And since this update was so huge and there is a lot of stuff to cover, down below I'll leave my video I made for this back in May, so you guys can go ahead and watch it. And finally, the most recent update, Builder Hall 6 was introduced. New troops like the Night Witch came, and new defenses were unlocked in the shop, like the Roaster. There were also a ton of balance changes and nerfs to certain buildings. In other words, the clock tower was made a little bit, yeah. Keep in mind this video was being made before August, as I knew this would take a long time, so yeah, any updates after August will not be in this video. I tried my best to highlight the key moments in the Clash of Clans history, and I gotta say, it was refreshing to look back. And it's just so awesome to see the moments we went through the past 5 years. So with that being said, I really do hope you guys enjoyed, and I want to thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a comment about your favorite moment over the past 5 years. So that's pretty much it. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Tell me what you guys think below in the comment section. Let me tell you too. See you all in the next one. Peace!